Does this look like you? Don't worry, after watching this video, this could be you. Hi, my name is Némësys. There are a lot of misinformation or incomplete information on YouTube about Androxus right now, so I decided 5 years later to make a proper guide on him. I'll be going over his abilities, his competitive playstyle, and his role, so grab your keyboard and mouse and listen carefully. As with every Paladin's character, you have 5 abilities. Let's start with his primary fire. This ability is a hitscan revolver that deals 550 damage every 0.5 seconds. It can also headshot for 1.5 times the damage. His secondary fire is an extended range energy punch that deals 520 AoE damage with a 1 second cooldown. His F ability is a dash in any direction that you're looking at. It's either on a timer where you spend all 3 dashes and each one resets the timer, or they are unlinked with a 5-second cooldown on every dash. But that's with the talent Darkstalker, and we'll go over the talents later. He also has a passive that allows him to hover in the air. Just hold spacebar while you are in the air, you'll magically be hovering. His Q ability blocks the damage in front of you with a startup animation and a small lockout after use. It lasts for 1.2 seconds and will send back 75% of the absorbed damage as a projectile. Unfortunately though, it's very inconsistent, but you'll need to rely on it in a pinch. His ultimate ability is pretty decent to kill a single target. It shoots 4 small AoE shots that deal 1000 damage each. Now you may think this is very strong, but this ult isn't super impactful, it doesn't apply anti-heal and such. So use it whenever you see a reasonable opportunity, but don't pop it at the end of a round. Each shot that you didn't fire will give you back 15% ultimate charge. So now, his base talent. Whenever you unlock Androxus, you'll be getting Defiant Fist, which is pretty bad. What it does is you'll charge up damage whenever you hit targets with your left click. It doesn't work on shields though, only actual characters. Each time you hit a character, you will be increasing the damage of your next Defiance, so your next punch, by 20%. It stacks up to a bonus of 100%. So when fully stacked, you're gonna deal 1040 damage with a punch. The second talent that you unlock at level 2 is Godslayer. Your reversal will always fire back an 800 damage projectile. This will add up to whatever amount of damage you absorb. The last talent that you unlock at level 8 is Darkstalker. Nether Step now has 3 separate charges and is no longer linked. Nether Step is your F ability, your dashes. For the sake of this video, we're only going with this one, as it's the optimal playstyle as of the Midnight Masquerade patch. Now that you know what his abilities do, we'll go over what you can do with these abilities in the game. Androxus is a flanker. You're supposed to be an asshole.
I don't want peace. I want problems, always!
You look for backline kills, you stay on your horse for as long as you can to get as deep into the backline without using your dashes. From now, you either look for kills on people that are unaware of you, or if you're feeling confident, you try taking duels you think you can win. Because of his high mobility, you usually are going to be the first character aside from tanks to be drawing eyes. So be aware of your relatively low HP pool and back off before dying. Even though your downtime is very short because of your cooldowns, you can shoot from a distance since your weapon is hitscan and doesn't have a terrible damage drop. The number one mistake everyone does on flankers is no cooldowns equals AFK. If you don't have cooldowns, you should be as active as possible, but do not dive in the backline. Just poke from a distance, farm your ult, shoot the tanks, look around. Is your team dead? Think about what you could do in the next 5 to 10 seconds when you get your cooldowns back. Now that we know what you want to achieve in a game, we're gonna go over how to achieve it. I'm gonna be showing clips and examples of my gameplay and break it down in a very simple manner and tell you how I'm doing things and why I'm doing things. Here, we're gonna go over pretty high tempo clips, so don't fret, just replay them as much as you need to understand what's going on. Dash flicking is a very flashy play that a lot of people like to swear by when playing Androxus. I do agree that it looks very good, and it's very fun. This can help you when somebody is aware of what you're trying to do and you're just trying to win the duel with taking the least amount of possible damage. You're trading your cooldowns to not take damage, which means that whether you kill them or not, at the end, you're not gonna have any more cooldowns and you need some way to escape the situation. Here I found a way to get into the enemy backline with my horse, but I get caught off guard. This is another way of using flick dashes as a reaction tool to have a chance of winning these close duels. This also shows you how you can close the gap between you and an enemy using flick dashes, and get to cover at the same time. This is an example of how Darkstalker allows you to get out of sticky situations. There I get caught off guard by Vora, she gets me to 1 HP. I have to use my dashes to get back to cover. Unfortunately my support doesn't heal me, so I decide to dash back behind cover and try to predict when I think she's going to go up to the stairs to dash back to my support. Afterwards my team dies, then I use my reversal to get my reset and go back to my spawn. Thinking about line of sight and corners is key to evade bad situations. The ultimate can be tricky to use at times, so I'm going to show you a way that is consistent, that you can use in your games, and that will work most of the time. We create a lead by killing their front line. Unfortunately, our front line dies too, but that means I'm free to do whatever the fuck I want. I hear that people are coming up in the tree, so I decided to peek using a dash to catch them off guard. What happens is, I see multiple people there, so I made the quick decision to dash right above them to be a harder target to hit, so I can easily have time to cast my ult and get a free double kill. Now watch me do the exact same thing in a different game. Consistency, guys. This one's another example where I tried to use cover to hide from the Grover and hopefully ult the Lex that was coming up. But for some reason, Grover decided to join the party. There I'm using the high ground to hide from the Cassie that is behind the Grover. So far, you've only seen me using dashes for fighting purposes. Here are examples of using them to get information and then deciding to follow up on that or not. On this side of the map, a lot of you would default to walking around the corner in the right side. Instead, I decide to use one dash to get information on what's behind the wall, plus to use the high ground to shoot that unaware target. Being a successful initial fight, I quickly followed up by changing my position to secure a kill. I could have also escaped by simply walking backwards if I needed. As far as mechanics go, you will need good aim. I'm sorry, you have to have good aim on Androxus. It doesn't matter how good you can be game sense wise, if you do not hit any shots, you can't do anything with them. So now, there are a few techs you can do. The first one, which is the obvious one for many high level players, it's the dash flicking tech. At the end of each dash, you have a small window where you can shoot before dashing again. If you try it while going in a straight line and maintain the shooting button pressed, you'll see that Androxus shoots between his dashes. Now, what we can do is take a little bit more time between dashes to actually aim at targets, and this is the result. The shoot punch mechanic. So you can animation cancel your shooting with a punch, although the punch has a small cooldown and a small lockout at the end of the animation, to avoid being able to shoot punch infinitely. If you have a target that's relatively low, that you cannot finish with a single bullet, but you could finish with a bullet and a punch, you might as well do this. Simply press the left click and the right click in a rapid succession. This will allow you to finish off targets much faster and avoid them getting healed between two bullets or between you reloading and you shooting again. Now about ammo management, because his reload sucks. With any of the loadouts that I create, I always have 2 ammo on the punch. Why? Because sometimes you'll be facing situations where a tank is trying to chase you, or you might be chasing the tank. The issue is, tanks are tanky, so you need a lot of ammo to take them down, especially if they have self-sustain or something. So, what you can do is shoot twice, punch once, shoot twice, punch once, and this works infinitely. This is pretty cool if you have to take down a tank like Rom or a Nara that is half HP, has no cooldown or something. It can even work if you're missing your shots. Let's say you're fighting, I don't know, something annoying to hit, like a Zin. You're missing 2 bullets, then you punch again. You get those 2 bullets back, and you can try again, as long as you don't die. But that's why you might see people get a bit angry when you you continuously punch them because they think you're a noob since, you know, you're not hitting your left clicks, which is technically true, but sometimes, you know, it happens to the best of us. Androxus only has 6 bullets, so be careful, and if you start missing shots, you need to back away. You don't have enough damage to kill people with only 2 to 3 shots. Unless you're controller low. Be always mindful of your ammo. Try to always have your maximum ammo before engaging on the target, because many times you will find yourself missing ammo when you could have gotten the kill. Also, you can reload cancel with any ability Androxus has. So when the reload bar is about 3/4 of the animation, you can press any ability, whether it's the punch, the reversal, the dash is the most common one. It's going to completely reload your weapon without going through the whole reload animation. When you hover, you actually make a small sound. It is barely noticeable, but if everything is pretty calm and you think you can try and sneak up on someone while flying, well, you might get spotted sometimes. But if there's chaos going on, nobody can hear you, which is pretty crazy, so you can sneak up behind people without even them noticing. Whenever you press your reversal button, be mindful when you are on the high ground or in the air, or even below someone, because even though you may think you're looking at them, so the reversal is automatically shifting its hitbox to where you're looking, it's not actually. The damage gets only blocked in front of you, so if somebody's below you and can see your feet from below, then they can simply shoot and you'll think that somebody shot through your reversal. That's not what happened. Same thing applies when you are below somebody and they are on the high ground. If you're looking at them, maybe the projectile you're gonna shoot back is actually gonna be aimed at them, but they can still shoot above your head. Now we're gonna go over loadouts. So this is a reversal reset loadout, which means you're gonna be resetting your dashes by hitting any enemy character with your reversal. That also means you need to use that ability well for them to actually feed the reversal so you can shoot back a projectile, because if you use it wrong, nobody's gonna shoot it and you're just gonna be stuck there like a sitting duck. So be careful. It's been a few patches since Androxus has been nerfed, and every single character that would trigger similar abilities got nerfed. You can only reset your dashes if you hit an enemy player. It does not work on deployables, and it does not work on shields and various blocking abilities. The only exceptions are deployables that are considered like players. For example, Ives Fox or Ying's clones. This is an elimination reset loadout. You basically play this loadout if there are way too many shields plus blocking abilities, like a Vivian with a shield or Zen with a counter, because if he counters you cannot reset your dashes. Or another Androxus, you cannot reset your dashes in the reversal anymore. So this means you will need kills or assists to be able to have your dashes back faster. Now hey, if you want to make your own loadout, you can, but you have to run dash range, otherwise you're trolling, and some form of ammo recovery. These are my personal loadouts. You don't have to copy them, but I assume you will, since there aren't many changes you can do to customize them to your taste. Great, now that you've watched the video all the way through, you're gonna be a pro player and you can now finally insta-lock Androxus in ranked and throw with him.